Some more dynamics of light and dark play are the following. As described in Pinocchio, where the ruffians pick on the protagonist, a typical way chaos energy spreads is by the phenomenon I like to call bully bashing. Bully bashing fills you with the energy of doubt and low self-esteem. The energy of doubt is perhaps one of the most fundamental ways in which chaos energy spreads. It takes the person's rootedness in goodness by acting as a cloud of confusion and disorientation. The person begins to question the nature of life, their own abilities, whether there is a creator, and their field of awareness shrinks out of fear. That's why the ruffians prey on insecurity. The deviant mind patterns that we have is the means by which we enter a negative energy field, and it wants us to deviate and to falter. It operates in the non-visible world. One can sense various energy fields when they enter an early morning train station, or a nightclub late at night, or a busy library. The collective energies bring with them certain thoughts and emotions, and it can be a very constructive gathering sometimes. One can even use this to their advantage by shifting the energy field in a room by feigning ignorance so that the energy of competitiveness may be brought forth, which can be very conducive to growth. As the energy field shifts, one resonates with higher mind frames and higher thought. A sort of collective expansion is created. The energy a true statement radiates, as well as the vibe of a truthful person, will just radiate with more goodness than that of the person who has misbehaved. Release the disharmonious energies in you. Don't give them an outlet. Other people will reflect your actions and energies. If you have been on the right path and you enter a cafe, people will talk in a certain way that is approving. Of course, one can face their fears and fight doubt that way, but action can temporarily dispel doubt, but it is through conscious awareness that it disintegrates, by bringing it into the conscious mind out of the unconscious. Realize your own nature and that it is good, and that is one and the same. You stay true to what is in your nature to do, and that will create the most good. Goodness and being are the same phenomenon. The message we get from adults is one of self-sufficiency and to value employment and education. The message is partially right, but often a crucial aspect is missed, which is that the avenue we choose has to be good and grounded in goodness from the beginning. In other words, it has to appease our soul, and it has to relate to our true nature. If a being attempts to do an activity that isn't its nature to do, then it ought to be doing something else. Build-up of all these chaos energies in us creates a greater potential for us to be misled and to not do good, which is staying true to our nature, our soul. That is why it is pertinent to become aware of them and to release them. How can you have presence when school teaches us rules and not to have fun and to forgo satisfaction and to complete menial tasks which irk our soul? We are conditioned from a young age to mentally drift and to not value work. Presence signifies full involvement from the person, a full dedication. Also on a meta level with the world. This isn't always encouraged with our schooling systems and their respective syllabi. As you digest chaos, the path becomes clearer and you free up more mental bandwidth. To digest your doubt energy, it might take some time. How long it is not obvious, but we are talking more than 15 minutes generally. You can embark on a journey of that and this, or you could also become aware of the energies inside you and digest your doubt energy, and the result is a confidence and belief in yourself, the world, the creator. You do it for yourself, and you do it also for others, although the latter may only fully realize when they are with you. When they are on their own, they will forget, and the fact that they are unaware of their inner doubt energy will cause them to disperse their mental efforts, energies. It will cause them to think their efforts are not worthwhile. But when they are with you, their doubt energy might not resonate as much because yours doesn't. Another manifestation of chaos energy that may lie within is hate energy. You can have hate energy and not be hateful about one specific thing. There are some people who keep it tightly bottled up, but when they have been slighted, then it's like the floodgates have been opened and you allow this energy to come out. But the rest of the time they are sublimating it through various other means like anger when their sports team loses. This energy of hate or malice is the counterpart of doubt. With the Pinocchio and ruffians example, one imparts the other. Reconnect with these stored energies within, digest and release it by giving it your conscious attention and awareness, and you will be freer. I believe out of the sins that we have, there is an even purer destructive energy. The overseers of hell would be pure sadists, no? It is the energy that wants to directly harm, as opposed to something like the sin of sloth or gluttony, in my opinion, where the harm is indirect. Of course, if the best way of going about things is to do the most good for yourself and others, harming yourself and others, sadismus, is the other energy. There is a wall of resistance in the abuser on which his actions rest, which prevents him from seeing and looking them in the eye. The work is to have him see it, to reconnect him with the negative emotions and the numbness they feel. Once again, awareness is enough, but it may take time. Another trap one may wish to keep in mind is the idea of lesser evils which accrue over time. So things like mild procrastination or not that too ideal of a diet. It is a legit trap when one's mental bandwidth expands and they feel like they have a heightened sense of functioning, which they do, but this newfound position shouldn't make them overconfident in dealing with lesser evils. That is why, for instance, smoking may be quite difficult to give up because the person just doesn't see the daily damage being stacked. To end this essay, I wish to point to a quote by George Orwell, and it is as follows. He who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past.